Happy Christmas. Let's talk about this particular premier that came from Ipswich.
Yeah, I'll tell you a happy story to get you back on track today, Daddy. 'Cause did you know that Queensland's second premier was from Ipswich?
No, I didn't.
And he had a couple of nicknames, and one of them was actually the King of Ipswich. And his name was Arthur Macalister. And he was Premier of Queensland. Yeah, he was Premier a record 3 times. Now, he was born in Glasgow, Scotland in 1818, the son of a cabinet maker. He immigrated to Sydney, and in the early 1850s, he came here as one of the first solicitors in Ipswich.
Right.
Back then, when it was still part of New South Wales.
Wow.
He lived over at Woodend. In 1859, Macalister was the first elected representative for Ipswich, but it was in the New South Wales Parliament. But he was elected again in the first Queensland Parliament the following year. He also served on the Ipswich Council. He was a founding trustee of Ipswich Grammar School, and his son was later the Duxford School. He was also a founding trustee of Ipswich's St Stephen's Church. And in 1865, he actually laid the foundation.
We got him up on the screen. We got him up on the screen. Now he had a beard.
Yeah, well, everyone had a beard back then. And he laid the foundation for the church on the site founded by the Reverend Dr. William Nelson, who you might remember, I told you recently, was the hangman's reverend. Anyway, one of Macalister's notable legacies to Queensland was the narrow gauge railway that we have today. In fact, Macalister was regarded as the King of Ipswich because of his stubborn and successful agitation for a railway. And of course, Queensland's first railway, it was indeed opened right here at Ipswich in 1865, thanks to Macalister. Anyway, Macalister died on a trip back to Scotland in 1883 at the age of 65. And that's 140 years ago this year. Now, the moderator of the Presbyterian Church at the time that Macalister laid that foundation stone was the Reverend Thomas Mowbray. And that's how I came across Macalister for the story today. You see, Macalister's daughter, Elizabeth Macalister, she was born in Ipswich, and she married Mowbray's son, Thomas Mowbray Jr. Now, family lives on with their name commemorated around the place, including Mowbray Park. It's near the Gabba in East Brisbane. In fact, did you know that East Brisbane used to be called Mowbray Town?
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah. And, well, I found out about the King of Ipswich, Macalister, when I visited the old Mowbray Town Presbyterian Church on land that was actually donated by Ipswich's own Elizabeth Macalister.
Wow.
Now, it's a beautiful church built in 1885, and today it's an accountant's office that used to be part of Ipswich's Samet Bureau Accountants. And, of course, Samet Bureau, they're right next door to you there at Westmorland Radio on Brisbane Street in Ipswich. Wow. Now, the original pipe organ is still there and works. The boardroom there is the most incredible that I've seen, with one wall virtually all stained glass windows.
Wow.
And the place is full of old church, the old church's First World War honour rolls. In fact, one of Macalister's granddaughters died in Egypt in 1916 while on active service with the nursing service. She went down with a slight bronchitis and died of pneumonia. And another granddaughter, she lost her husband in 1915. He was a doctor with the Army Medical Corps at Gallipoli when he was, shot through the head. Anyway, Arthur Macalister had a lot of things named after him. There's a street at Carina Heights in Brisbane, a state electoral district in Logan, the Macalister Range in far north Queensland, a township on the Western Darling Downs, and there's Macalister Street up behind the Ipswich Hospital named in his honour. Now, one nickname for him, like I said, was the King of Ipswich, but another name was Slippery Mac. That's because Slippery Mac Macalister changed his alliances more often than some people change their socks. In fact, in 1861, he resigned from Parliament in protest, but changed his mind. He was then re-elected at the by-election he had caused. And so he's quite possibly the only politician in Australia to have done that. So, Danny, next time you can't make up your mind, just think of the King of Ipswich, Slippery Mac Macalister, and don't worry, because you can change your mind as much as you want. and it'll still work out. So, Danny, I told you I was going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Just think of Slippery Mac Macalister.
Arthur Macalister, the second Premier of Queensland, and what a great yarn. And you educate us every Saturday with your stories that are true. So how can we look at your stories? You've got heaps of them.
Absolutely. Go to well, there's 300 short stories online, 350 I think now.
Wow.
And a lot about Ipswich. Go online to historyouthere.com and Slippery Mac will be uploaded there first thing tomorrow morning.
Well, this is Slippery Dan talking about Slippery Mac with Harold H. Peacock on West Premier Radio. Coming up, we've got Jack Sim at 8:23.